What it do, what it do, what it do? It's your boy, Silly Cell, and we back in here with another episode of Juice City Legends. If you have not, please hit the like button, please subscribe to the channel. Let me give a shout out to my player partner, man, So Crazy TV, man. So we back in here, man, with episode 2 of the Dewitt story, man. So when I left off in the last video, I was talking about when I got back rapping, when I teamed up with my homeboys, the Doom Doom Boys. So that was like my 8th grade year coming out of Hardy Middle School, getting ready to go to high school. So when I was getting ready to go to high school, I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know if I wanted to play in the band. I didn't know if I wanted to play football. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know if I wanted to hoop because, you know what I'm saying? I was fascinated by both football and band. You know what I'm saying? But due to the fact that I had sat out one year playing football, I got straight back to playing in the band, you know what I'm saying? So, 9th grade year, I go to Lanier, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, Lanier marching band is what made me want to get in the band in the first place. So I got in the band, man, you know what I'm saying? And like I was saying when I said on my episode 1 about this cliche about you being a band geek and all that type of stuff, that's when I started hearing stuff like that, man. So, like I said, it's a lot of stuff I'm leaving out because I'm strictly be talking about my music career. But I just say this: one of my homies in the hood, my first day of school, he saw me walking down the hallway at Lanier with the trombone, and he was like, "Bro, Sil, you can't be walking down the hallway with no trombone, bro. You a street ninja." I'm like, street ninja? You know what I'm saying? I ain't look at myself like no street cat, you know what I'm saying? But my homeboy, I guess he was saying because I be rolling with them or whatever and doing, they was in the hood hustling and trapping or whatever. And I wasn't doing that, but I was hanging around them, you know what I'm saying? I was hanging at the spots with them, I was riding with them boys and stuff like that. And mind you, these homeboys I'm talking about, they was a few years older than me. But I had came up with them, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, man, you can't be walking around with no instrument and all that type of stuff, man, you know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, it was a few people looking at me like pointing and laughing and stuff when they see me walk down the hallway with the instrument my first day at Lanier. So right off, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of succumbed to the peer pressure a little bit about the band thing, because like I said, I didn't hear all that type of stuff when I was in middle school, but when I was in high school, it was a different ball game. And like I said, by the time I got to high school, I had to start blowing and stuff like that. And I was doing my thing with the females, man, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? You get to smell yourself a little bit when you get 15, 16 years old, around that age. But nevertheless, I went on and did the band thing, man, you know what I'm saying? And that was my last year playing in the band, my 9th grade year. Is because at that time, I just wasn't disciplined enough to be in the band, man, you know what I'm saying? And but while I was in the band, I ended up meeting this guy by the name of Jerry Keynes, man. One of my best friends to this day. But we meet on some crazy stuff. It was a female guy, rest her soul. She liked both of us or whatever. And I don't know who said what, but somebody said that I said something about him. Somebody told him I said something about him, but I didn't even know him. So one day Jerry had approached me or whatever. He was like, "You Marcel?" I'm like, "Yeah, Marcel," or whatever. And he was telling me about the chick. I said, "I don't even know her, man." You know what I'm saying? And we end up getting cool. You know what I'm saying? And not that year, not our 9th grade year, but 10th grade year. Like I said, I only played in the band my 9th grade year. In 10th grade, I went on and played football. And when I got in the football team, I started getting cool with some more guys or whatever. My homeboy Charles Fisher, me and him get cool. The other guy by the name of Mackenzie Parker, we get cool. And another guy by the name of Big John, we all get cool, man. We like all of we got a little clique, you know what I'm saying? We had a bond from the start, man. We were hanging with each other every day. So we used to all go meet up at Big John's house. And Big John was rapping. You know what I'm saying? Big John had signed a little contract with this little small independent label called Fast Life Records. And the people that was over there label was the little guy from Jackson's, Lil C Note, the one that went viral, the one that was on Ellen DeGeneres, his father, Cornell. His people had a little record label, and Big John was on their label. So Big John used to kind of shun us when we used to try to rap around or whatever, because he felt like he was on another level than us, because he was signed to a little label or whatever, he had a little record deal or whatever. But all of us used to rap. And it was my boy Jay White too. I can't forget about Jay White. Jay White was rapping it with us too, because all of us played football together. And we used to all meet up at John's house and rap. And but we used to play the game chill, but we always would find ourselves getting into little freestyle sessions. And every time we would get together, we would start rapping or whatever. And some of the music that influenced us at the time was a lot of the Houston music, man. We loved Lil Flip. Lil Flip was our guy, man. Lil Flip was our guy. Mr. Big from Alabama, the one that sings "Take It to Trial," that was our guy. C-Note and the Botany Boys. We listened to a lot of Texas music, man. You know what I'm saying? Particularly Lil Flip. And but we would always find ourselves freestyling, but nobody never just said we were gonna rap. So as time went on, we would go to McKenzie's house sometimes, because John didn't go to McKenzie's house but me, Charles, J.Y., McKenzie, we would all go to McKenzie's house. He lived over there in Lake Forest. And we used to rap with them. But look, McKenzie had his own style or whatever. McKenzie was kind of before his time. He was singing like a lot of rappers do now. Like Future and Nelly and all them. He had that kind of rap style or whatever. But we necessarily didn't want to do them type of songs like Ken wanted to do. Ken was like a pretty boy, man. He used to always want to make songs for the girls and all that type of stuff. Me, I just want to make some flossy type of songs. Fish, he wasn't really rapping, but he'd get on the song, whatever, and talk some noise or whatever. Fish had a nice little flow on him, but Fish didn't really pursue no rap thing or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And Jay White, he could rap, you know what I'm saying? He was a lady man type of rapper, but he used to rap about real stuff too at the same time. But Big John would never get on no song with us, man, you know what I'm saying? But it was like certain little rivalries in the group, which made everybody start going their own separate ways. But me and Fish, we stayed cool. We still cool to today, but Fish didn't really fool with the rap. But my boy Jerry, he ended up making his own studio at his house or whatever. And he started recording, he started making beats, all that, you know what I'm saying? And so I started more so hanging around Jerry. But I ended up leaving Lanier out of 10th grade. I ended up moving to Texas for a little while or whatever, because I just wasn't on the right track, wasn't doing the right thing or whatever. And I really probably would have crashed out if I hadn't moved out there to Texas with my auntie or whatever, because we was having too much fun at Lanier. I ain't gonna lie, we was turned up in that thing, man. We had a ball at Lanier, man. So I ended up going out there to Texas with my auntie or whatever until I was 18. And when I went out there to Texas, that's when I started honing my skills or whatever, because I wasn't in Jackson no more. I wasn't going to parties all the time like I was. I wasn't hanging out all the time like I was. I was in church a lot, you know what I'm saying? I had started back drawing or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I had a lot of time on my hands or whatever. So I started back working on my skills. Well, I started to actually work on my skills, because like I said, around that time, the Texas scene was so hot. And I was feeling like, because I was out there in Texas, that I probably could have got a deal. This was the time when Lil Flip, Swisher House, Slim Thug, Paul Walker, Millionaire, all them boys was out. And Lil Flip was my favorite rapper. In fact, while I was in Texas, this is when David Banner ended up signing his deal, blowing up or whatever. So I was just getting very interested in rap, like I never was before. I would go to the store and get the XXL magazine, get all of the magazines, and the Source magazine. I read them from front to back, and you know what I'm saying. I couldn't wait to get back to Jackson, man. So as soon as I turned 18, I moved back. I had the opportunity to go to stay out there or whatever and do some things or whatever. But I ended up coming back to Jackson or whatever. I thought I was missing something or whatever. I ended up coming to Jackson, back to Jackson when I was 18. And the first day I came, man, you know what I'm saying, my old buddy, Michael Hilliard and Alan Blackman, cause like I said, I had been talking. I kept in contact with all my people when I was in Texas. And every time I get spring break or something like that, I'd come down for spring break or whatever. But when I came back, my boy Michael Hilliard, they came and picked me up. Him and my boy Alan Blackman or whatever. And they was like, man, you want to go to the studio? I'm like, studio? Hell yeah, I want to go to the studio. I had never been to the studio before. And this is the time when LimeWire and all that was out. So I had, I forgot how we got the instrumentals. I probably had already had the instrumentals. So I ended up getting some instrumentals. The instrumental that I had was the Pac-Man beat. That beat was so cold to me. And we had the, I Got 5 on the beat. And we sat in my auntie's backyard for hours, coming up with raps or whatever, because we were going to go to the studio. And later on that day, it was almost nighttime. They ended up taking me to a studio in Presidential Hill. The studio we went to was owned by this dude named Tevis, man. Tevis was the son of Coach Hunt that was a coach at Provine. In fact, they had a group called the Presidential Players. I'm sure a lot of y'all heard of the Presidential Players. But they had a studio over there in Presidential Hill. That was my first time getting in the studio. And we dropped the song off the Pac-Man beat. And we dropped the song off the I Got 5 on the beat. I forgot how the hook went on that Pac-Man beat. My boy Mike, he did the hook. Like I said, Mike was a class clown, but Mike really could flow if he would have really put time into it. But I know on the I Got 5 on the beat, we had a song, Playboy, what you hating for, cuz I can see it in your eyes, you got hate up in your blood. Walk around on your face wearing a bug, when I see you in the club, I'ma light your ass up. That was our song right there. And we dropped that at the studio in Presidential Hills or whatever. And that was my first time getting in the studio. And when I came back to the hood and let everybody hear it, man, when I heard myself on CD for the first time, man, it just blew my mind. I was in love with rap right then and there. Like I said, I was like 18 at this time or whatever. But like I said, Mike and them, we kind of started going our separate ways or whatever, because Mike and Ellen, they wanted to go play ball. Ellen ended up moving to Louisiana somewhere playing basketball. Mike ended up playing football with Hines or whatever. And like I say, we did go to different high schools or whatever, and we really didn't grow up together. I guess we just outgrew each other. So I was always still in contact with my boy Jerry. Mackenzie, he ended up going to play football somewhere. My boy Fish, he was always my dog, but like I say, Fish wasn't doing no rapping. So me and my boy Jerry had ended up calling me one day, telling me about, remember I had the studio. So I'm like, yeah, he do got a studio with him. He had his own studio at his home, which he recorded. He did all the recording. He made the tracks, and he could rap, man. My boy Jerry was really ahead of his time. So me and Jerry ended up forming a group called ODC, Off the Chain Records. And we added this guy named Peanut. Now Peanut was a Nate Dogg type of guy, man. He could rap, but he could sing them hooks, man. He could sing real good, and he could make hooks like that. And but the first thing me and Jerry recorded, we went to the studio. I took him to Tiffany them studio, because I was like, man, I like what you doing over here, but I know some dude that got a more professional sound in the studio. We went to the studio and we recorded 2 songs. The first song was a song called All the Demons Like Me because I floss every day. You know, we was on the flossing and balling type rap. And then we had another song for the females. Come on, mama, let me see you shake that thing. Make a player want to take that thing. I know you getting money, girl, shake that thing. Get low and make me and my nigga say, damn, shake that ass, whoa. That was the song we had. And we made a radio version that we were trying to get pushed on the radio. But at the time, no disrespect to Mr. Maine, but Mr. Maine, he was hate, man. You know what I'm saying? We got our song on Pump It and Dump It. Everybody that went to the near with us called in and said, pump it. They were showing favoritism, man. They were playing everybody else's song, but they wouldn't play ours or whatever. We took that kind of personal or whatever. We just said we didn't even want to fool with the radio, period. And then we started fooling with people like the OG Freddie Young. I remember he invited us to his studio, but everybody wanted money. And at the time, we were young. We 18, 19 years old, man, fresh out of high school or whatever. We ain't had no money to be putting in no studio time. And it was before the internet. You had to go out there and put leg work in. And a lot of people weren't doing videos, none of that type of stuff. The only way you were having the buzz in Jackson, at that time, if you had some money or you had a big time drug dealer behind you, man, you know what I'm saying? That was one thing we didn't do. We ain't try to attach ourselves to no big time drug dealers and all that. We was doing whatever we doing ourselves or whatever. And so me and Jerry, we just decided to get it out the mud, man. And we ended up dropping this tape called 20 Hit Combo. And bruh, when I tell you that thing was slapping so hard, man, I wish I had that tape to this day, bro. Man, my boy Jerry was cold. I'm talking about cold at sampling. We sampled songs like Tender Love by the Force MCs. We had he sampled that song Kanye had, Gold Digger. He did that before Kanye did. I'm talking about y'all should have heard our version, man. And like I say, Peanut was doing his thing with the hooks or whatever. And me and Jerry would come, I would come with the flow, Jerry would come with the production, he would record everything. But we was a little bit before our time, man. Like I say, if we hadn't been around the social media area, I guarantee you we would have blew. Cause we had the look, we had chicks or whatever, we had street cred. At the time, I was in my hood doing my thing, knee deep in it. At that time, you know what I'm saying, 18, 19 years old. I had my hood behind me. I had my street behind me. I had, you know, they were gonna vouch for me, you know what I'm saying? And at that time, that's when rappers had to be real gangster and be living what you was talking about. And I definitely, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I rapped about trapping and all that type of stuff. I wasn't no killer, no stepper like that. But I rapped about trapping and hustling and doing what I was doing with females, and I really was doing it, man, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, we fit individuals or whatever, all over nice looking guys or whatever. So I feel like if we would have came out in the social media area, we would have ended up doing something, man, but we didn't. So after trying that for like a year or so, everybody started going their separate ways. My boy Jerry ended up moving to Houston. Peanut went his separate way, and I was all by myself, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because ever since I had been rapping, I always rapped in the group. I started out with the Doom Doom Boys. Then I started out with the Big Body Boys. Then it was the Doom Doom Boys. Then it was me, Ken, Jerry, JY, Big John, all us rapping. Then it was ODC, me, Jerry, and Peanut. And now I was all by myself. I ain't know how to record. I ain't know how to make beats. At this time, you had to go. It was hard to find beats or whatever. You couldn't just go on YouTube. YouTube went around and all that type of stuff. You got tired of downloading free beats off of LimeWire and Kazam and all that type of stuff. So I needed some production, man. So one day, I'm chilling on Idlewild Street, man, you know what I'm saying? And my homeboy Kevin Carr, who I had been knowing since I was at least about 12 or 13, man, him and his brother Jeremy. And his little brother Jeremy, he was making beats or whatever, but I never knew he was making beats or whatever. So one weekend I ended up going over their crib or whatever. to check out some of the beats. And the little dude Jeremy, he was making beats on his keyboard, man. At the time, he was alright, man. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't good as Jerry was at the time, but he was alright. So, like I say, I didn't get no beat from him at the time, but he was on my radar. So I ended up hearing this mixtape by some cats I went to school with. Well, I went to school with one of these guys, Doe Hicks. But we call him Dunny Hicks. I ended up hearing a mixtape that he had called Act the Ass Click. It was Doe Hicks, Tricky, and another dude. I can't remember the other guy's name. But they had this dude that was making the beats called Pistol Pete. Turns out the dude who was making the beats was this guy named Deontay that went to Lanier with me. So I instantly get in contact with Deontay and say, man, you got to give me some of them beats, man. So I started getting beats from Deontay. I might have got about 4 or 5 beats from Deontay, man, you know what I'm saying? So, Deontay also had the studio. I recorded this song from him called Get Up. It was my first solo song that I had. It was called Get Up, man, you know what I'm saying? I did my thing on that song, man. I wish I had that CD right now. So, Deontay, he was doing music, but his parents didn't really want something better for him. They really didn't want him really into music like that. So when I used to come over to their house or whatever, his dad used to be looking at me crazy, like, why this boy, why he always over here? I don't trust him, you know what I'm saying, which I don't blame him or whatever, because you know, this Jackson, you don't never know what nobody's intention was. So Deontay started kind of getting hard to get in contact with to get the beats. But my boy Jerry ended up coming to town one weekend, and he gave me some beats or whatever. He gave me some cold beats too, you know what I'm saying? But also, this little dude Jeremy, who I was talking about, who was my partner, Kevin Carr brother, he had got a little bit older, and he had got a little colder. So I went back over there to listen to the beats, and little Jeremy had got cold, man, you know what I'm saying? He had started recording and everything. And this dude that I'm talking about, Lil Jeremy, ended up being Mississippi legend, Hershey Black. You know what I'm saying? That's right. I was one of the first ones working with Hershey Black. And like I said, I saw him when he first started making beats. I remember he was making beats on the keyboard or whatever. He wasn't that good at the time, but the thing about Hershey, he really invested in himself and he really put in time with it. I saw him come from barely knowing how to make beats to getting better and better. Every time I went over his house, he had some better software. Every time I went over there, he was leaving Best Buy, getting some kind of new equipment to put into his recording and beat making skills. And that's why he wanted to go today, man. You know what I'm saying? I can say that myself, that Hershey really put that work in, man. You know what I'm saying? And did his thing. So Hershey became my go-to guy, man, you know what I'm saying? Because at the time, I was like 19 years old. Hershey and them still was in high school. So I couldn't record with them all the time. But when I could record with them, like, it was on, like, weekends. I used to always go over there, like, on Saturday morning, or, like, Saturday around about 2 o'clock, and we were going in, knock out about 2 songs every time I went over there. So I already had the song I had recorded at, at Deontay's house. I already had that one song I had recorded over there. I had some beats from Deontay, I had beats from my boy Jerry Kings, and I had tracks from Hershey Black. So at this time, I'm like, man, I gotta go and do my solo album, man, you know what I'm saying? So me and Hershey Black, we locked in for probably about 2 months straight, man, you know what I'm saying? Every weekend I was coming over his house, finishing up my CD, man, you know what I'm saying? So when I finally dropped it, I called it Give Me My Props. And at that time, I had Hershey sampling everything, man. I had him to sample this line Boosie said, "Give me my props. I'm the hardest ever drop." He had that on the intro, you know what I'm saying? I had him to remake the Juvenile song, Rich Niggas. I had him to remake that song. I had him to remake uh, one of Soulja Slim songs, man. You know what I'm saying, man. My mixtape was cold blooded, man. You know what I'm saying. But like I said, this was before live mixtapes were going on. This was before Dead Pill. This was before YouTube. This was before Facebook might have been around, but me at the time, I was in the streets to a certain extent, hustling or whatever. So we didn't really do the camera and all that type of stuff. So, which was looking at it in hindsight, if I would have been more into getting on camera and stuff like that, probably would have helped my career or whatever. But due to the fact that I really didn't like getting on camera and all that type of stuff, and then I kind of stayed within my circle. I really fooled with my people, and there was Georgetown and Shady Oaks. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't fool with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I had respect for other guys, but I didn't necessarily want to go hang around all the dudes on the north side. Everybody knew the north side was the most popular side of Jackson, or a lot of the guys that was out west, we felt some kind of way. I ain't gonna say we were hating or nothing like that, because we never was haters. We didn't want to do no D-ride, man. We just didn't understand networking, man. You know what I'm saying? Really, man. We looked at it like D-ride and trying to go hang out with all the other rappers that was doing their thing or whatever. They wasn't genuinely rocking with us, you know what I'm saying, outside of rap. So, but I ended up dropping in a mixtape called Give Me My Props, man. I had like 19, 20 tracks on there. I had a song with Lil Maul on there called It's Going Down. And how I got Lil Maul on the song is Lil Maul then was in high school. Like I told y'all in my video how I got Lil Maul. He was in high school. He had a mixtape that was buzzing, and he had a song that was dissing Frank Milton. I ended up hearing about it. My sister was listening to it. My sister went to high school with Lil Maul. I had my sister call him and ask him would he mind getting on the track with me. He ended up getting my number. We talked on the phone, whatever. He said it was cool, we were gonna do the song. I went and picked Lil Maul up from his mom's house. Like I said, he was a teenager then, you know what I'm saying? It was way before the fame. I picked him up, took him to Hershey Black's house. I introduced them to each other. And we did the song, It's Going Down, or whatever. I dropped my mixtape, man, you know what I'm saying? Give me my props. But I wish I would have been more professional with my mixtape or whatever, and I wish I wasn't so nonchalant at the time or whatever. I never wanted to be one of them type of guys to be like, listen to my music, hey, check my music out. I feel like at the time I had too much pride to do all that type of stuff, but that's what it takes, you know what I'm saying? When you really want something, I really love doing music. I used to love rapping or whatever, and I really wanted people to listen to my music, but I always wanted them to listen to it genuinely. But the point that I was missing is that if nobody never heard of you, how can they just want to listen to your music? You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that I say messed me up or whatever, that I wasn't willing to compromise and get out here. I was more so like when people be like, boy, I heard this CD, boy, I ain't know you rap. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I like to surprise them. I like the element of surprise. But that's one of the reasons why my mixtape didn't do what it needs to do, man. You know what I'm saying? But in my hood, Dewitt Street, Wood Street, you know what I'm saying? Some Georgetown, some people in Shady Oaks, some people in Vernon, they rock with my CD, man. You know what I'm saying? And I end up doing some shows or whatever, like people in my neighborhood, people that were friends of mine, they were having parties or whatever, and they would get me to come open up for them and do songs and things like that. I loved it. That was fun as hell, getting on stage, rocking it. And I know for a fact that the young cats on Dewitt, they were proud of me, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I wanted to do at the end of the day, was represent for Dewitt Street, man. Because I feel like our hood was the lost hood, man. You know what I'm saying? At that time, batting them were going through their thing or whatever, you know what I'm saying? The Mississippi Mafia, Georgetown Mafia, that was a little older. And it was younger cats in the hood doing their thing. People like Bonnie Tony. You had Mobile Mike, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like I wanted to put on for Dewitt Street, man, you know what I'm saying? And we had another label in my hood, Bottom of the Barrel Records. Shout out to them guys, D Reaper, my boy Low, Boo, Stead, Ride, my OG Phil. All of them, they were doing their thing with the rap, but they was a little bit older than me, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to hold it down for my age bracket, man, you know what I'm saying? Uh, but like I said, I kind of was a little bit too stubborn, man, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's why my mixtape didn't do what it's supposed to do. But if you heard that mixtape, y'all know it was a cult classic, man. I really was getting down on that, man. I'm talking about I had all type of songs, real song, authentic song. I ain't gonna even lie, I had a diss song I was going at somebody on, but it was some street stuff that was going on in the hood at the time. I ain't say no name. The people in the hood, they know what was going on or whatever. And I had this dude on one of them Webby tracks, man. It was cold, man. You know what I'm saying? But this episode 2 of the Dewitt story, man. When I do that episode 3, it's gonna be the grand finale, and I'm gonna get into the last chapter of my music career and what made me eventually stop, and how I feel like I probably would have ended up blowing up at that time if certain circumstances wouldn't have went on. But y'all stay tuned, man. I hope y'all enjoy this, man. This your boy Silly Cell with Juice to the Legends. We checking out. Peace.